Okay, we have this sequence here, n times -1 to the n. And we want to find out if this is increasing or decreasing, or if it's monotonic at all, which it may not be. If it's not monotonic, it means that it fluctuates. Sometimes it increases, sometimes it decreases. And we also want to find out if it's bounded or not. Bounded means it has an upper bound and a lower bound. So the upper bound is the first term, and that's a value that you get. And it never goes past that first value. And the lower bound is when you take the limit as n approaches infinity. If that converges to an actual value, that means it also has a bound in that direction. So therefore it would be bounded. So knowing that, let's first try to find out if it's always increasing or always decreasing or not. Well, with this one, we could just reason about it, because we've got a -1 here. So if we were to plug in values, plug in 1, you get a negative. Plug in 2, you get a positive. Plug in 3, you get a negative. So this is definitely not monotonic, because it's alternating. Not monotonic, because it's alternating. I mean, what other proof would they need, right? I'm pretty sure you could just write that down, not monotonic, and show like the first few terms. The next thing you want to try to see is if it's bounded or not. The way you check if this thing is bounded, like I said, is take the limit. So you take the limit as n approaches infinity of this. We know it's going to be alternating from 1 to -1. But we're going to do this just to see what happens. So with something like this, if you remember with sequences, whenever you have -1 to some power, and you take the limit of that as n approaches infinity, you could just take the absolute value of that entire thing. So you could just take the absolute value of this. And what would be the absolute value of -1 to the power of n? That'd just be 1. That would just be 1. Because anything which is made 1 to the power of anything is always going to be 1. So this is like taking the limit as n approaches infinity of n. And what is that? It's just infinity. It diverges. It diverges. So this is both not monotonic and it diverges.